if I would have been a guy, if I would have been a man, this could have worked, and this, that, and third. And now I'm questioning every aspect.
Mm.
So that's taking even more of a toll on me. So now it's like, okay, if I'm gonna get into any type of relationship with somebody, I have to fully be aware of who I am as a person, be
Mm-hmm.
confident in who I am, and even if I'm not confident, does this person make me feel comfortable enough to tell them like, hey, look, there's certain things you may want out of me, there's certain things you may want to do. I'm just not comfortable with that just yet.
Right.
And in hopes they will appreciate me being honest and get me to a place where I do feel comfortable enough to want to do certain things or be in a certain light with them. Be-
Hello, 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 everybody. It's Annika LaQuette here, the host and creator of Navigator 9 podcast. Y'all, this is my panel. Y'all see what y'all see. This is the LGBTQ plus panel, and we're going to be talking about all things relationships, dating, and mental health from their point of view. Period. So, y'all, I have Real, I have Mo, I have Lauren, and I have
What's up?
Ani. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
So,
Hey,
y'all ready for this panel today?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
let's get into
Yes, we're
it.
gonna get started, okay? So, y'all make sure that you all are following Navigator 9. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and Facebook, okay? Because we're gonna get started, and I'm so excited. So, y'all, what I want you to do is tell me about yourself for the people who do not know you. So, anybody can go first.
Well, I feel like it's an icebreaker.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm
What?
Lauren. I consider myself a full-time hottie. Ani said, I am a chef. I am a motivationalist. I do it for the girls. My background is in social work, so I focus on women, women empowerment, women inspiration, and just wanting women to be their hottest and greatest version of themselves. Of course, I am part of the
Right. That part.
LGBTQ plus so many letters community now. And I'm just excited to be here and just bring my hotness, wherever I
I go
can.
next.
Okay. Who's next?
Okay.
Hi everybody. I'm Maurice now. I'm from Florence, South Carolina. I am the CEO of Kyle Omega Duck Production organization here in Florence. My girl Annika is my sister. She's a part of my organization. Um, I'm also an inspiring chef. So, plan to go back to get my culinary license so I can become a full time chef and start my food truck and catering business. I'm also a community health worker background major in healthcare science. Health science at Morris College. I'll be graduating in December. MoCo. And pretty much like I said, I am. So yeah, I'm
Period.
part of
Oh yeah. Milk
MoCo
all
family.
day.
I'm also a part of the LGBTQ ABCD 123. You know, what I'm saying the whole alphabet gang. But like I said, I'm a proud gay male of Florence, South Carolina. I'm also a HIV positive undertable person also that's advocating for HIV awareness. I help out volunteer with Hope Health here in Florence. Sometimes when they have things going on there, I did not a workshop, excuse me, an internship with them last summer. So some of them sometimes they ask me to come help out when they need extra hands to help out with volunteering. So that's pretty much a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm happy to be on this podcast with everybody to meet some new people, and get a chance to network and see what's going on. All right.
Okay. So, who's next?
I guess I can go. I am Ani Bennikin Holmes. I am the podcast host of All In with Ani. I am a native of Charleston, South Carolina. I am a child care professional, graphic designer, photographer. I do all of the things. I sing. I am married to a wonderful songwriter. He's one of the greatest here in Charleston, and I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And lastly,
So my name is Real. I've known Annika from Morris. Those Moco days were crazy.
right.
I'm also part of the, I guess you could say, Alphabet Mafia because it's like you said, so many letters.
Okay.
I currently am an service advisor. I've been in automotive field since I graduated. So if anybody needs work on their cars, come see me. I got y'all. We found.
All
All
right.
right.
So
Yes.
I just am appreciative and grateful to be on the podcast to get to meet y'all as well as Annika giving me this opportunity.
Yes. So y'all, I'm so excited because listen, this podcast episode, this panel was so hard to do. And if y'all know, I was like trying to pull teeth, baby. I was trying to get these people to come up on here. And I'm so happy that y'all said, you know what, I'm coming on. And with Ani, I had them on, like, I try to, let's see what I did. Oh, the Facebook marketplace or Facebook group. That's how we Ani.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last minute.
Mm-hmm.
But that Ani
Yes.
is here, and I'm so excited, and I'm so excited for y'all. So
That's it.
yes, and also for everybody who supports the show, just know that I cover people from all walks of life. Okay, I don't play. I don't cover like this little bit of people, this, and that, all walks of life. So if you support the show, you support my movement. Period. Okay.
Yes.
So yes, I just had to do a little disclaimer for anybody that have anything negative to say. All right, we all about positivity over here. So
That's right.
speaking of positivity and love, what does love look like to you? Anybody?
I guess I can go first. It's just being like connected with that person. Like, the typical norm, which is that person has to be your best friend. But it's really a job within itself. Like for me, real love is, being observant, being, not content or complacent. Like really learning your partner each and every day and falling in love with them every single day over and over again because you're finding out new things about them. And then being able to have a safe place to go to before anybody else and having those tough conversations and being able to say, you know what, we may not agree, but at the end of the day, I love you, you love me. We gonna agree to disagree.
Right. I agree.
That's why I look at it.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would say love looks like loving me beyond when I'm frustrating you or when I'm getting on your nerves or when I'm not the best version of me. That's what true love look like for me.
I guess
Who's next?
go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
For
You go ahead.
I was about to say you want to go. um, for me, I don't think of love just as with intimate. I think love is just in general is just being able to love that person beyond conditions. Because I recently really had to learn that we put so much love, hard love into relationships, but people don't think of friendships as relationships, family
Hmm.
as relationships. Any person that you connect to is a relationship. But I feel like we so big on, or so many people speak about just relationships and being in love or love, just romantic wise. So I feel like just anybody we meet, you have to love them beyond conditions, whatever that might look like to you. I feel like that's true love.
Come on now. I like that. And
Everybody kind of
Maurice.
Oh,
pretty much took pieces of what I want to say. I guess to kind of sum up what love means to me, it's all about connection for me. I believe in just having that true connection, divine connection. Um, and being able to relate to that person, whether you going through ups and downs, they can be there for you. You can be there for them. It's never a one-sided situation. It's always, you're in it together. If you can plan on being together forever, y'all being together forever, meaning going through the trials and tribulations, the storms, and sunny skies and rainy days. So that's pretty much my definition of what love would be.
Okay, that's good. I completely understand everything y'all say. And yes, Lauren, you're right. Relationships is not only just intimate relationships, it's also friends as well. And
Hmm.
co-workers and different things like that. So yeah, I agree with you there. So I want you all to tell me your coming out stories. And also, if you are, up to that, I want you to tell me your coming out stories and tell me were you accepted after the fact or were you like, like a negative thing.
Mm-mm-mm.
Tell me about that.
I guess I'll go first.
I guess I
Okay,
can go
I'm
first.
about to say,
Oh,
Go ahead, go ahead, go
go
ahead, go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. I'll wait.
Go ahead.
I'm about to say, I'll just go ahead and slide this out. Your way. Um, so I say for me, mine was pretty crazy. I would say that my mom and my family already knew because, like, of course, if y'all have siblings, if y'all got some sneaky, nosy siblings, used to go through the phone, used to go through the text messages, used to go through the pictures. And my sister used to out a bitch. And I used to be like, dang, I thought we were sisters. Like, why would you do that? Um, so mom, like I wanted to get my hair done and I wanted to get my hair taken out. And my mom was like, I'll take your hair out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, she being nice. She gonna help me take my hair out. So she's taking my hair out and she was like, okay, well, I gotta ask you. And I was like, oh God, I don't know what she about to ask me. But black parents, they be always trying to beat around the bush instead of just asking. So I'm like, okay, what she about to ask me? And she was just like, are you attracted to girls? She was like, I've been, your sister been telling me and showing me some stuff. And at that age, I was like denial at first. And I was like, no, because I guess I was in denial because I want to tell it on my own versus me getting outed. Because I don't like to out people.
Right.
I feel like outing people is that's wild to me. But she was just like, like, do you like girls? You can just be honest with me. Like, I love you. Like, you don't have to lie to me, this, that, and the third. I just want to know so you can just tell me. And I told her, I was like, yeah, I like girls. I've been liking girls for a while. And, black people, they be like, oh, is it just a phase? Is it just for this right now? And I'm like, I'm in my head, I be thinking I be grown. But I'm like, I'm too old to be thinking that stuff is in a phase. Like, I know what I like. So, so it was just like, okay, well, if you're sure, then I love you. I will never let nobody talk about you, disrespect you, this, then the third. So I think that moment when I actually was able to tell her from myself versus somebody else telling her, it makes a really big difference because I wanted to be able to tell her whenever I was ready to tell her, not for nobody else to put it out, even if it was my sister, just putting that information out there. And it's like, maybe I wasn't ready. Um, or anything during that. So I would say it would be a positive experience. It was a positive experience. It may not be have led to it was positive, but I would say it's a positive experience because my mom loves me for who I am, and and loving your child with no conditions. I feel like that's definitely was very important and very grateful. So
Okay. I know, Ani, you
I
want.
guess I'll go
Oh,
next.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, do your thing.
Oh,
Do your thing.
either or, it don't matter.
Go ahead.
Um, I would have to press it like with my mother is Spanish and Catholic. So that within itself, that cultural dynamic of coming out was just a lot. Um, I kind of had the same probably fears and okay, questioning, should I do it? I know I was gonna do it, but when am I gonna do it? So I told my sister to test the water. I was like, I'm gay. She was like, oh, we I already knew that. And I'm just like, what you mean? You already knew that. I'm nervous. I'm in the bathroom pacing back and forth to even tell you. Like, so she was like, you gonna tell mom? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell mama. I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. Because in my mind, my plan was I had it all planned out. I was gonna come out in high school
Mm,
because I had a variety. I had more girls to talk to then versus middle school. So I had it planned out.
Mm.
So it was one particular morning. My mom was watching TV, watching her stories, and I was like, Mom, I need to talk to you. One thing you don't do is interrupt the Spanish woman watching her stories. But I kept pressing it. And I was like, why you talk to you? She was like, well, wait till commercial. I was like, all right. So I wait for a commercial. And then she was like, what do you got to tell me? Hurry up. I'm like, I think I'm gay. And it was not the best experience. It was, do you think you're stupid? Like, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Mind you, my sister promised she was going to be in the room with me when I told my mama. My sister had ducked off. Because once I came out and said that, my sister had ducked off. But immediately, I do commend my sister when she heard my mama going off. She immediately stepped in and was like, "Why would you be saying that? What's wrong with you? Like that's your daughter." Da, 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 da. So my mom ended up leaving the house. Like she left me and my sister there. She left the house. She could not deal. My stepdad came home and he was asking where my mom was. We told my stepdad. He bust out laughing. He was like, "Your mama ain't had no. Everybody had knew. Why she acting like that? What's wrong with her?" Everybody was on the same page. But as time has progressed, I would say my mom is a very big supportive advocate. So it has been a whole 160, 180. She is quick to defend me with coworkers that may have a comment because I'm more masculine presenting. Of course, some people question or frown upon it or whatever you want to say. she's quick to defend me. Like my daughter dresses how she wants to dress. She likes what she likes. Um, it is still that aspect of out of sight, out of mind in certain regards because it is a cultural thing. So I do have a tendency if I am in a relationship with somebody, that's my friend. That's just a common understanding. But at the same time, I try to do it in regard to respecting my partner. Whenever I have one, letting them know like, hey, mom, is okay with it. It's just certain regards where she's just not gonna be fully comfortable. So it's just like rather than saying, "Oh, that's my girlfriend," I'll just be like, "Oh, well, that's my friend." But she knows. But overall, mom has been very supportive and very loving of me since then.
That's good. All right. Who's next?
Well, I guess I can go. I don't really have a coming out story. I was always like sure of who I was, but I did. My mom didn't know. I was very selective of who I told that I was gay or whatever. But when she found out it was a big whole shebang, I thought she was going to throw herself down the stairs. It was just really crazy. And my sister, I can identify with you. My sister told my mom because I was sneaking my boyfriend in at the time, and my sister had knew about it. I should have never told her, but but yes, I never really had a coming out story. Everybody knew who I was and what I liked. I was always a feminine person, so coming out really wasn't a thing for me. I was always who I was.
Okay. Well, that's good. See, I don't know.
Yeah,
Y'all sisters mean. They know they ain't supposed to be doing that. Just out in people. Let y'all tell your own
right.
story.
But that's siblings.
Mm-hmm.
That's siblings for you. Siblings like
Mm-hmm.
Golly.
They will tell your business. They will tell your
They
business.
will.
Gosh.
real with quickness.
Mo,
I
how
gotta
about
relive
you?
this foolishness again. All right, I'm gonna give you the short version. I came out right after high school. Um, I had my first encounter with a friend, a guy I met offline. He was coming to town to spend like a few days with me, and he wanted to meet my parents. So basically, that's how what I want to do is go ahead and kind of soften the blow. So he come, they can. I thought it would be um they will be, I guess, okay with him coming to visit me. They can meet him or whatever the case may be. To my surprise, I thought it would be easier for me to come out to my mom than my dad, but it was the other way around. My mom disowned me for a whole year. My dad, I had to wind up moving out the house that same week. I moved in
Mm.
with her sister. Her baby sister was my favorite aunt. God rest her soul. She took me in. I stayed with her for the whole year because I was just started my freshman year at Florence Darling Tech, taking up computer technology and minor in Cisco schematics or whatever that mess was. Anyway, so basically, like I said, my coming out story was a horrible story. Like I said, me and my mom didn't talk for a whole year. She kicked me out of the house. My daddy went along with it, but he basically made sure I was good. Staying with my aunt. My aunt took me in, thank God, so I didn't have to be sleeping out, be homeless or whatever. But eventually she kind of came around, but so she passed away 4 years ago due to COVID. But that's another story for another day. But up until that point, she passed away. She technically never really was kind of okay with it. She just accepted it because she knew that this wasn't a phase, because she thought it was a phase two, and she thought the guy that was coming to me had changed me because she thought he was older, but actually he was younger. So basically, like I said, that's basically my coming out story. It was,
Oh,
but like I said, eventually she was okay with it somewhat. But what I did was to keep it from being an issue. I didn't bring who I am around the family like that. A lot of few of everybody pretty much know. They just waiting on me to say something. A lot of people still don't know. So I guess if they see this, they'll know now. But yeah, that is basically that's my coming out story. Yeah,
okay. I thank every last one of y'all for sharing that with
yeah,
me because I know, it was hard. I'm like, okay, we're gonna address this
yeah,
because everybody have different coming out stories, and maybe you sharing your story could help somebody else. So just give them some options.
no problem.
So yeah, thank y'all so much for doing that for me. So, what does authenticity mean to you, and how do you embody that, and why is like authenticity important to you? Anybody?
I guess I can go first. To be authentic is uh, it means being your truest self, and what better way to be than to be your truest self? So it means a lot to me that I can walk in my skin. I can walk out of my house and be comfortable being me. Expressing myself the way I express myself, because I find that is harder to try to maintain a persona that's not yours, or try to be committed to an identity that doesn't belong to you. It's harder to maintain that than to really just be yourself. And I've learned through the years, like being yourself opens many doors. It helps you with a lot of different connections, because you'll never know who you are benefiting, or who you're beneficial to when you're being yourself.
Who's next?
I'll go, but I'll basically honestly the same, like basically everything I was gonna say. Just for me, being my authentic self is just showing up, however I can for myself. Just doing like I said, just walking out the house knowing like, okay, I'm comfortable in my skin, I'm comfortable how I dress, my personality, because I have a big personality. And everybody cannot handle a big personality. And then also people, they say they wanna be with you or connect with you because of your personality, but then when they get it, oh, they don't want it, or they'll try to change, or they'll try to do this and they'll try to do that. And it's like, I don't want nobody around me that's like feeling like they got to be attached to me because of what I bring or what they think I bring. I want people to be themselves around me. Like I don't want nobody to feel like they gotta switch up a persona, switch up, how they got.
Uh,
All right, real. I know you was gonna say something.
Yeah, I feel like being authentic is just being unapologetic in both aspects, in both ways. Because a lot of times it's when you get to that place of being unapologetic, like this is who I am, no matter what people may think, no matter how people feel. But it's also being authentic and unapologetic towards yourself, and recognizing that you may not know where you're at right now. You may not know how you're identifying. You may not understand, like, okay, what place do I have? Like, I'm not the most confident person. That also, too, is being authentic, is being able to recognize that you have your shortcomings and have your flaws and where you need to work at. So it's like, to me, it's just a fine line you got to walk. And it's okay if you're not in that place right now. Eventually, you'll get there. And once you get there and you able to, walk out the house with your head held high, confident, not caring about what nobody got going on, hey, that's a great feeling. But it's okay if you're not there either. That's still being authentic. Is recognizing that, I'm not there yet. I'm work in progress.
Okay, come on now, I like that. All right,
I
Mo. What
guess
about
my
you?
definition of authentic, of being an authentic self, is being like truly transparent with whoever you come in contact with. For me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not saying I'm DL or anything like that or whatever, but I'm not. I'm more of a private person, so I don't like to put my business out there per se. Not saying I'm putting up a facade saying, "Oh, I'm straight" or whatever. No, I don't ever say. If you ask me, I'll tell you, but I'm just not gonna come out and just say it. But for me, I just like to be. I try to be as transparent as I can be, but I don't like to put too much out there because sometimes there could be a backlash, and I don't deal with backlash good. I know me, I'll be ready to pop off, and I'm learning to control that as well because I know me. And you know what
I
I'm
know.
saying? With being a part of this community, we face this all our lives. And like for me growing up, my family, some like especially my mom's side, I dealt with a lot of the F bomb word. You a sissy, you a punk, you gonna die of AIDS and all this other BS and stuff or whatever. And it's always that stigma carries on when you become an adult if you're not able to, mentally handle it. And it's been like a challenge for me. But as I get older, I gain more wisdom and learn not to let stuff affect me and people actions affect me. But I'm still growing and I'm still learning how to not to pop off or whatever because I just don't like being, being attacked for who I am. So like I said, I try to be as transparent as I can be. That's pretty much my way of being authentic, trying to be as transparent as I can be.
That's good. I like that. So thank y'all so much. All right. So now we're gonna go to pronouns. So I know that some of you identify as he and she, and Ani you identify as they and them. Okay, so why is pronouns important to you?
I go first.
So anybody can start.
I feel like pronouns are important because of the fact that, like you spoke on with the last question, it's just being authentic and just being, comfortable in your own skin. It's the same thing when it comes to, if for me, I use she, her pronouns. But when it comes to like my name, that's a representation of who I am. I prefer to be called real. If you are close family, then Corel and stuff like that. But to like my friends or anybody that I'm coming to contact with, even to the point of like my employer, it's real. That's my safe space. That's I prefer that name. Now, I'm not saying you're probably going to hear me answer quicker to that than Corel because I reserve that space for very much so the people that are like extremely close to me, like my nieces and nephews and my mom and my best friend. Like I know, like when they call me girl, like that's my safe space. So in the same equivalent, having those pronouns, that's person safe space. That's them identifying as, this is who I am, this is what I be prefer to be called. And to take that at face value, like some people do, and be like, oh well, that's doing too much, or they should just be called what they were born, this and third. Okay, but do you hear yourself? Do you hear how like you sound, how disrespectful you are? Because in my eyes, the way I look at it is, and I even had to explain it to a couple of my homeboys that are more narrow minded in that regard. If I call you out your name and you don't like that, right?
Mm,
But that's how you acting. That's what you're doing. All the stuff like that. But you don't like when you're called out your name. So how are you gonna tell somebody else when you're misgendering them that they're wrong for feeling how they feel? You don't want nobody calling you, excuse my language, a bitch. I ain't no bitch, I ain't no female, this, that, and third. Same equivalent. If that person chooses to want to identify as a woman, even though they were born a male, that's their prerogative. That's okay.
Hmm.
Have that same level of respect. Don't be narrow minded. That's just my opinion.
all right, who's next?
I think it's important. Pronouns are important because it helps you identify who you are, and it's already sometimes hard accepting who you are. So when you get to a place where you are clear on your pronouns and someone misgender you, it's kind of like, okay, no, this is who I am. This is who you're going to address me as. So it's important. But for me, I think on the other side as well, and I give grace as well because my mom is 73 years old. So she's not going to say they when she's referring to me. I will always be her son. So I kind of give grace when there needs to be. But moving forward, like if I meet anybody new, my pronouns are they, them, their, auntie, and friend.
All
I
right,
guess
who's
for
next?
me, pronouns are really is not really a factor for me per se. I don't really take that light. I mean, I don't take that literally. Um, but I guess, like I said, I present myself as who I am, and who I am as a male. Um, Even though I'm a gay male, I present myself as a male. Some may say I'm masculine per se, but I present myself as just a male, so I'm just me, who I am. So that's pretty much my take on it.
And Lauren, what you think?
For me, I don't have a problem. Because I present myself as female, femme, so she, her. I don't really have an issue, but sorry for other people. I feel like that's really important. Like to sum up basically what everybody says because that's how they're presented. Like that's who they are. That's what they want. So I'm not going to be a type of person and be like, oh well, you say that your pronouns are she, her, but you're a guy. Like that's just disrespectful. So it's like, okay, if you telling me your pronouns are she, her, that's how I'm going to address you. If you say your pronouns are here, him, I'm gonna say okay, and like they, them, like I have that level for respect of people, so I just say do it. But as Ani said, giving grace, especially for older generation, they don't know nothing about pronouns and
I don't
ABC
know.
1 2 3. Like they don't know nothing about
Right.
that. So it's not taking it personal. It's just having the
Generation.
mindset. Okay, we're in a whole different like time and generation. Like it's a way big gap. So I give the grace for that. But other than that, I just give the respect and that's it.
And I think too, like how you and Ani said, like there's a lot of grace you have to give to like the older generation. But like for instance, like my mom's, I have a cousin. Their pronouns are she her, but they were born male. And I explained to my mom, I was like, okay, I get it. You're not gonna. That's a he to me, and I'm like, Lord,
Right.
let it. But I was like, just out of love. I was like, you love her, right? Yeah. I was like, okay. If you can't get past the fact of in your mind that's a he, it may be excessive, but just use their name. I feel like that's an easy shortcut. If you're not too keen on the pronouns, or you just don't get it, or you're afraid you're gonna slip up, if I have to excessively use your name just so that way I don't misgender you or don't use the correct pronouns, that's a way I feel like for the older generation they can go about it. If you gotta call my name, you already doing it anyway. You calling me for every little thing. Just use my name. It's okay.
Okay. Y'all understand? See, okay, even though I'm a kid, people say I'm a kid. I'm like 29. I just turned 29. But I'm kind of old school as well, so I'm like new to the pronoun. Um, so now I know what it is, and I'm like, okay, how do you um become them, they, and also, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do
Mm.
you identify yourself as that? Because of course, when people are feminine presenting, you say she. When a person is masculine presenting, you say he. So now I'm seeing that there is they, them, and different things like that, and I'm accepting of it because baby, I'm here for it. Okay, so how do you find that way to say them and they? Like, how do you identify that? If I'm saying that right.
Well, for me, when I made the decision to transition to non-binary, I didn't want to. There's a thing where if you're a man, men do this. If you're a woman, women do this, and it's like me transitioning to non-binary is taking away the pressure of, oh, you're a man, you should do this, or if you want to be a female, you should do this. So I wanted to be fluid in my expression of who I am. So some days I'm going to wear a baseball cap and some sweats or a little shorts, here and there. And then some days I'm in full glam and I got on heels, nails, all of the things. But I don't allow my clothes, I don't allow how I express myself to define who I am. So for me, being non-binary it's a me thing. I don't want to fall victim of men only do this or women do this. So let me just not identify as either, because I want to be able to be free and fluid in how I express myself.
Okay. I like that. And I hope anybody that's looking at this, they'll understand that too. So now I'm glad you
Yeah.
gave me the clarity. So now I know. So see,
Period.
we
Yes.
educating each other, period.
Yes.
So, okay, my next question is, okay, so for the dating. So your dating process, like how does that look to you? And is it
I go
hard,
first.
easy? Like tell me about your dating life.
It's ghetto. It's
I go.
ghetto in these streets. Out here in these streets is ghetto.
Okay, come on, Mo.
Go ahead,
Man,
cause
Go
he
where
be
do
like
I
he
begin,
ready. Go
yo? Oh my
ahead.
God. Okay, I'm gonna try to sum up my experience with dating men. Put up, might as well say, versus like I said, I had girlfriends in high school, but when I get into college and everything, and growing up, it's been strictly men. Um, let's just say men are very complicated. I now see what women are talking about. I can honestly say if you could
I'm
probably
glad
vouch for what I'm saying. Men are very complicated. I really didn't think
yes,
that we were this complicated. Um, I've dealt with some people that had some stupid. I mean, you would think you become an adult. you learn from from past relationships that you learn to do better the next one. So like I said, I've dealt with some rotten eggs that I wish I'd have left in the carton. And like I said, I can honestly say I've only had one successful relationship. His name was Nick. Nick was whole name was Nicholas Murchison. He went to Winston-Salem State. Back, but this is like way back in like 2003, 2004. We were together at the time. He died. He had a heart attack. Because the year before he had a heart transplant. But he was a junior in Winston-Salem State, and we were planning on. That was the only successful relationship I actually had. Everybody else I've had outside of that, it's been horrible. I ain't gonna lie. The last relationship I was in, I met this cat from where is from somewhere here in South Carolina, Pamlico or somewhere. Anyway, long story short, this is the one that affected my body with something that I currently have to deal with for the rest of my life. And he also tried to kill me, literally. And I tried to kill him multiple times. So it was a really toxic relationship because it was like a back and forth tick for tat. And the fact that he pretty much cheated on me the whole time we dealt together, lied and said he didn't have this, and then when I got tested, found out I was HIV positive. Almost, if I wouldn't have got tested at that time, I would have died 3 months later because it almost turned full blown. And I would only live
Mm.
for what the doctor was saying. I would have lived no longer about 6 more months after that. So thank God I got tested when I did, and they was able to shoot me up with what I needed and stay on my meds and do whatever they had to do to get me back on on my way back on track. So now I'm undetectable for the last what this is 2016 to what I guess 8 7 years now, whatever the case may be. So yeah, like I said, for me it has not been a easy journey dealing with guys. It's been a very tough journey. I almost gave up. Now I'm about to like, you know what? I may have to go back being straight. Bump this. I ain't got time for this. Like seriously, because that's the mindset I was in. Because at one point I was in this church, and it felt like it was a church where I thought this church was gonna be like legit. But then it was like I had to take a step back from it because the pastor was really trying to like stay connected with me, and he wanted me to be up on his wing and stuff. And then when I started seeing who he really was, he was trying to commit me to be straight. So I'm like, dude, this is me. Like this is you can't. Cause, and the thing about it is, I didn't like about it, and what I don't like what I've done. I allow him to influence me. That I got rid of all my gay friends, and I'm pissed about that because those were relationships I had for
Mm.
like 10 years, and we were like locked in, like these were my brothers. You know what I mean? So for me to do stuff like that, and I regret that to this day because we cool, but they don't trust me. But like, cause you may do it again. You know what I'm saying? Because you may allow somebody else to influence you, and I've been trying to build that back, but it's just not working. So I've learned my lesson with allowing I don't want to say straight folks, but allowing outside influences to influence my decision in dealing with people and not allowing bad relationships to affect my future. So, like I said, for me, I've only had one, but the rest of them was like, throw them in the trash. Don't even think about picking back up. Just, hey, just destroy them, whatever. So yeah, that's my experience. Yeah, horrible.
Ooh, Lord. Thank you so much.
Now, now I gotta give you a run for your money because you say that men is a struggle. Women ain't no cakewalk either.
Ooh.
High blood pressure
Tell
through
me
and through,
Mm,
through and through.
Ooh.
okay.
And Marquise, I don't know if it's the same for you when it comes to males. That is for like me being lesbian and stuff like that. Dealing with somebody of the same sex, like that connection is so intense. It is crazy work. Like it's super intense. My relationships, like ironically, I can call almost every ex I've had and have a full blown conversation. Like that's the homie. Like a couple,
yeah.
especially like a couple of my more serious relationships. They be like, "How you still cool with these people?
No,
These
no,
the homies. Like we friends
no.
now."
No,
Yes.
But
I'm a
Maurice said
not
no.
to, not to cut you off,
Uh,
but for
It's
me,
different for us.
I tried that. But see, this is the thing. All the failed relationships I had, I tried to start off being friends with them and get to know them. They rush the process every single
mhm,
time. I don't know. Maybe it's the type of guys I dealt with, but I try because like
Mm.
with me, when I meet somebody, I'm looking at your heart. I'm looking through. I'm trying to see what's inside you that I can connect with. or whatever. When I connect with you,
Mhm.
I'm hoping it's the same being reciprocated back, and you can connect with me the same way. You see something in me that you like, that you want to pursue more about, and it starts off good. Cause you know they're saying the fairy tale, the you
Mhm.
know the good side of it at the beginning, but then as you start to really know these people, and the time is progressing, and you spending more time with them and learning. You know what I'm saying? You got to experience their flaws, the different things you may not like, different things they may not like about you. And for me, like I said, I try to be start on being friends with them, but like this, they always rush the process. And for me, instead of me slowing them down, I just go with the I just go with the flow because I don't. I at the time, I want to say dependent on somebody loving me, and I wanted somebody to like me at the beginning, like especially my early 20s and 30s. Like
Mhm.
that was my
Mm.
goal. Like if you like me, ooh, boy, I latch on hard. And that's been my issue. That was my problem. I had to learn that. Like you can't just latch on just because they like you, because that might be the wrong person. So like you said, for you like you saying real that you was like you can be friends with
Yeah.
with exes. I can't be friends with none of them motherfuckers. Excuse my French. Don't they put me through too much, y'all? I promise you. We
Be
they put
real
me
on
through
hood,
so
baby. Be
much,
real
y'all.
on
Y'all just don't. It's been times I want to commit suicide because they stressed me out so bad. I had one that almost tried to bankrupt me. I had one that stole it was like I don't know why I picked the toxic ones. They seem like they cool on the outside, but we really get in the nitty gritty of it, man. Like these niggas try to kill, like literally try to kill me. Came on this earth, so like I've learned my lesson with dealing with people. So now, like I said, I've been single for the last 9, 6, 7 years or whatever. But it's like I can't be ex with none of them or whatever. And someone have tried to come back and like, Maurice, let's try it again. Hell no, excuse my friends, but like, no, we would not. You got me one time. It only take one time to get me, and I promise you, I'm out. Dude, I ain't got time for. So for me, I don't know about other guys, but for me, I cannot be friends with my ex. I can't. That's not me.
For me, it's like when people hear initially, like, especially like I have my best friends, like two of my best friends are exes, and they'll ask, "Oh, well, how y'all, became friends or whatever," the typical, best friend story or whatever. And then when we get into if we're going to say, "Oh yeah, we dated" or whatever, they we just y'all friends, not only friends, y'all best friends. It's like,
you.
yeah, that's my dog because it's platonic now. Like we can talk whole conversations and it's platonic because like I explained to my homeboy one day, sometimes being able to have those relationships with people is just recognizing you weren't that person for them. Being somebody person is everything. Sometimes you're not going to be that person's person in that regard, which is just
Mhm.
romantic. But you can absolutely still be that person's person on a friendship type level. And as long as it's not toxic now, I'm petty boots. I'm toxic when I need to be. I ain't gonna use it then lie. I'm not gonna make it seem like I ain't been giving a couple of these women they run for their money as well. Cause I have my tendencies. I'm a work in progress.
What?
But it's just recognizing like, all right, if I'm gonna be cool with this person that I dated or whatever, and these are people that I've dated for years. Like I got one particular ex. We dated off and on 5 years. Was
Mm.
engaged 3 times. And I can call her today and tomorrow, and she's gonna be bestie this, bestie that. That's my road dog.
Mm.
Like I can go chill with her, hang out, all that, and then people look at us like we crazy. Like, no,
Right.
that's toxic.
I got
It's not as long as it's come from a healthy place.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
I I I would go because I'm married, but I've had my ups and downs in this relationship world and the dating pool. And I listen to this podcast, and he often say like the dating pool has piss in it, and it really does. It really
you. Yes,
does
Lord.
because
Especially South Carolina. Jesus.
oh
Jesus.
my God, y'all, listen, I left before I met my now husband, my ex, we were in this like toxic situation. And it's different for the lesbian community because I feel like women are a little more relational with each other than men are. And for me, we were in an abusive relationship. Both of us were the ones initiating the abuse. And it just got to a place where it was like, if your mentality it's all in your mind. If your mentality, my mentality was like, oh, I'm with a man, so we can duke it out. We if we mad at each other, we can duke it out. But now I'm learning like you can't hit the ones you love, or you cannot, go off and fly off the handle with the ones you love. And at first, me and my now husband, our relationship at first was a little toxic too. So we had to do the work, but it's different for the gay males than it is for the
Yeah.
lesbians, because the lesbians, they can be best friends with
Oh,
their ex. Men
hell no.
hold like a grudge, and it's kind of like it's hard to
Yeah.
release that grudge,
Yeah.
because you're like, man, he played with me.
Free.
He played with me on a different level. So I can't be friends with my ex simply because I'm still working
Yeah.
through the heal, and I'm still on my
Yeah.
healing journey from that relationship. So I don't need you in my face reminding me of why we did not work out, or what happened between us, or anything like that. And sometimes when men become best friends after they've been
Mm-hmm.
exes, it
Yep. Been
turns
there, done
into a
that.
friends with benefits.
Mm.
Mhm.
And now, yeah, and now you fall victim of, now you have all of the emotions of being with this person, but the titles and certain things like you expect them to do. Like if we're in a relationship and we break up and now we're friends with benefits, in my mind,
Right.
I'm still gonna expect you to do relationship stuff.
Mm.
So that means taking me out or texting me good morning. But you mean to tell me we've been together for this long
Right.
and now we're friends with
You just,
benefits,
you
and I
just
don't
a,
get a good
you just a
morning
booty call.
text?
Ooh.
Hmm?
It's a,
I, I,
Mm.
what? So now I've been demoted, and I have a
whoa, I
problem
agree with
with
you.
that. So I
You're preaching to the
cannot be
choir,
friends.
on you're preaching to the
Right.
choir.
I can't do
Trust me,
it.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
Hearing you say that makes a lot of sense now, because I just thought about it in my head, like, and Annika and Lauren, you probably can like relate to it in regards to like just having like girlfriends, like just female friends. That's something that females naturally do. Like you'll text your homegirl in the morning, "Hey girl, hope you have a great day at work. Oh, you want to get some lunch? Like let's hang out." So where I guess that's
Mm-hmm.
why for lesbians, for us, it's
Yes.
a little bit easier to
Hmm.
transition into being friends, because that's something that we just
Yeah.
naturally do with our girlfriends anyway.
Yeah.
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 So now I see
Yeah,
why it's a little
guys are
different when it
very
comes to
petty. Like
like
Arnie said,
dealing with the guys
guys
and
can
stuff.
we'll hold grudges. Like I said, I don't hold any grudges with none of them. But like Arnie was saying, if I was to be friends with you again, like I got to get through all that what I dealt with you. Like not to say I was perfect in all relationships. I did a couple of them. I did kind of, I just want to say so called cheat, but it would just be talking to another person because they got on my nerves. I just want to talk to somebody different just to get over, and then kind of like merge it right together. But like he was saying, like I'm sorry, honest, like Honest
Hmm.
was saying, um, we cannot be friends with our exes, especially with males, because like you said, you hold grudges. I keep saying he. I'm sorry, honest. They I was saying like we just
It's
can't.
okay.
It just I don't know. I guess it's like the ego. Our male egos cannot deal with. Okay, yeah, we was together for a minute and
Yeah.
we broke up, and maybe later on we may try it again, but we just only friends with benefits, and we expected to keep that same energy. And like they were saying, I recently was in something like that last year or whatever with somebody I dealt with. We was together back a while back, and they was trying to come back in my life or whatever, but it was more so like say friends with benefits. But I was expecting the boyfriend treatment, and I was like, "Hold on, player, what you talking about? Oh, I'm only good for you only call me at night about 12 o'clock. I'm like, hey, you want to come over? Whatever, you can stay at night with me. I cook you breakfast in the morning. Nah, nigga, anybody this ain't no booty call every night. I may want to go to the movies and cuddle or something. I may want to go
Mm-mm.
play ball. Let's go play some shoots of ball or something. Like you know what I'm saying? Like let's spend time. Oh, I can't. I ain't got time. I got to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. That's so yeah. I had to end that real quick because I was getting on my nerve. I was like, I can't do this now. I'm too old for that. I cannot do this. I can't do this.
I'm
Yes.
glad
I ain't
you.
gonna be nobody's secret. I'm sorry. No, we gonna be together. Let's let it be
Uh,
me and you against the world. Ain't gonna be no over
Mm-mm.
12 o'clock. Hey, babe, I missed you. How was your day? Oh, you want to come over tonight? No, I
mm,
ain't got time for that shit.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Why you can't come to
Mm-mm.
my house?
No,
You
I
know what I'm
don't.
saying? You're right. I'm just my baby. I'm just my baby. You know
I
what I'm
miss
saying?
my
But
baby.
nah, yeah. For dudes, like I said, sometimes I wish I could be a lesbian because y'all like I have a lot of lesbian friends and they be like Yeah, we still. That's my girl. That's about you like it's cool, but I mean I know y'all have an interest too, but it's going to be a lot easier being friends with exes being a female than a male. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Lauren, what about you?
They somewhat stuff just now. I'm over. I don't even know what to say.
Oh
Um,
man.
um, I say my dating experience, it has been wild because, like Real said, I am a girl that will give you a run for your money. Okay, I will give you a run for your money, but I love hard, and I had to realize that everybody can't handle somebody that loves hard. Because if we lock in, we lock in. Like I'm the type, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I want to spend money. I want to cook for you. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like I'm lit. So if you saying like, okay, we're gonna be together, then I'm all hands in. But once, if I just for me, and
Team
I don't know if
Cancer.
it's because I'm a Cancer or what it is, but once you get up, it's a wrap. Like you're not like I tell people like you have to catch me when you can. Cause if I ain't there no more, I'm already gone. And that's not, oh, I'm already gone going to talk to somebody or, I'm on this, I'm on that. It's like, no, like once you got me F up, like that's a wrap. So it's either you're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
come bigger than what you came before, or you just gonna be sitting there looking because that's all I got for you. Um
Yes.
but I dating girls is people be like, oh, dating girls be so much, but it's not. I feel like both teams be wild. I feel like both teams it be stuff, so it just be like you just have to pick the poison that you really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Mhm.
as in for the relationship part, as y'all was saying with friends or benefits, like I literally just went through that. Me and my ex girlfriend, we dated for about on and off for like 5 years. And it was just like, okay, well, we're gonna try it again, this, then the third. But like how y'all say, friends with benefits. And once the friends with benefits came, it was like, okay, I don't we doing relationship stuff. So like I wanna feel like, okay, we already doing it, we might as well be in a relationship. But how y'all say it's the title, people wanna do relationship stuff but don't wanna be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mhm.
just be like, okay, so if we don't want to be in a relationship, what is we doing this for?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are we doing this for? Like, I don't know. I'm the type of person like, okay, if you say you want to be with me, then okay, cool. Like, let's see what's up. Like, I don't want to rush into things because how you say, Maurice, like, I'm the type of person if somebody's showing me attention, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But if I see that you applying pressure, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I want that because you applying
Right.
pressure. But people apply the pressure to keep you,
That
but
part.
once they get you, they don't want to do it no more. And I'm
No, they
like,
get they get complacent. They get content.
they get content. Like, and
They get
I
comfortable.
No.
don't like that. Like, and especially if you're growing, like, because a lot of people, what I had to realize, like, I want more now. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't have standards, because I always been a standard. You ain't gonna play me like I'm nothing. But I want more now. So it's like, I'm not expecting you to have the whole package, the whole five. Now, especially with social media, they present relationships like, oh, you gotta have all this bread, you gotta do this, you gotta be
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
extravagant. Like, I ain't gonna say I ain't want no
Right.
party that ain't got no money because you gotta have money messing with me. But I'm saying you ain't gotta have like you ain't gotta go through
Right.
all the fines, dines. Just show like, okay, you can just rock me on venue and stuff. Like, okay, if you say you want to do X, Y, Z, okay, let's do X, Y, Z. And especially if you're like a business owner, if you're somebody that's
Mm-hmm.
trying to do more like generational wealth, just anything, and the mind is not there or they don't want to help you get there. That also plays a part because if I'm trying to go to Bali, I'm trying to go across the world, and you want to stay and I love South Carolina, but if you want to stay in little old South Carolina, baby, they not doing nothing for me. Like it's more than just South Carolina. It's more than just the United States. It's more than just working. Like it's more than life just doing what we be doing. So it's like I ain't know, man. People just crazy.
That's real.
It's just
Y'all, this
Yes.
crazy, but
conversation is getting
it's
real
I just
good.
always say
Okay.
like your person is out here. Like
Yes.
regardless of
Right.
even if it might be during that time, that person came in your life for a reason to teach you something. Because I also had to learn the stuff that we looking in people is really already within ourselves. Now we might not like it, But there might be some shallow grapes
Hmm.
that we have to find into. If you don't like nothing about somebody, that might be
Right.
something that you don't like between yourself. And I had to learn that, like, it's
Hmm.
things that we don't like or we do like, and we find it with other people, and then we be like, dang, we attracted the same people in 8 different bodies. That should tell you something. Like, if you're attracting the same person over and over and over and over, it might not just be the person. It might be some stuff
Right.
that you need to reflect on. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Play it 2 times for people in the back.
I I I I went through that part when I was transitioning out of my last relationship, and I was like, why do I keep
Right.
meeting the same person with a different face? And I asked myself, what is it that is inside of you that is attracting that kind of a person? Because if you ever met those people that always fall victim of people using them, or always fall victim of people lying to them? Why do people feel like they can use you? Why do people feel like they can lie to you? So then I had to put a purpose on myself, like, no, I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to set my boundaries, my clear boundaries. And if you go over my boundary,
Yes.
bye. Have a nice one. I don't want to stay and linger to see what could
Yeah.
happen or the
Right.
possibilities, because it could not be in my favor. So if I missed out on something good, I missed out on something good, but I
Mhm.
don't want to
Yeah.
stay and find
And
out of something
piggyback up on
bad,
Ani, what
you
you were
know?
saying.
Yeah.
I know from my experience dealing with the relationships I was in, um, I had to realize that after the last one, I was like, okay, it's either what is wrong with me, and I had to do some deep, soul searching and figure out, okay, why am I attracted to the same type of
Mm-hmm.
person, but a different face or a different body frame per se. And I learned that I had
Mm-hmm.
to learn to love me first, and that's been my issue in the past. I love the
Mm.
person more than I love myself. And I had to realize that because after that last person that
Mm.
thought he was gonna kill me, literally, and I looked back on that relationship and I saw so much toxic stuff that I was allowing in my life when I could have avoided it and blocked it. Like the thing about that situation, I'm saying I don't regret it because it's a life lesson learned. Is the fact that I saw the red flag from the first date we had at IHOP in Florence, where because the question I like to ask
Mm.
people when I meet them, what song best describes your personality? This fool said "Danger" by Erica Badu. That was a red flag right there. And
Oh,
I didn't run. I ran to him. That's
Run,
the
friend,
problem. I
run.
ran to him instead of running away from him. That was the
I'm gonna
red
get up out
flag.
of
That was the
here.
Oh
stop said.
Jesus.
The crazy thing about it, y'all, when I look back on it now, it's like I'm looking at myself replaying that whole date over, and I'm seeing myself showing a stop sign in my face, like stop, no, go that way, go the road, turn left, turn right, like don't go forward. But no,
Mm.
my curious behind my curious behind
Return.
Curious George
Don't
want to
collect you
go
when I was
want to go
passing.
see what dating's
Mm-mm.
all about. So that's why I feel like that's why I blame myself in that relationship. I would take 50% to blame myself because the red flag and the stop sign was telling me that night this is not what you want. But no, my dumb or whatever my crazy self,
Mm-hmm.
because I guess for me at that time I was single for about 10 years. So like I'm gonna go
mm.
ahead and just admit it. I was lonely. I was desperate, and that was the first person that showed me attention in 10 years. I was like, I'm gonna latch on to this.
Mm.
That was why I avoided that red flag and that stop sign. And I had to realize that, like I'm realizing it now as the years grow that I'm no longer with that person. But I had to learn that. So now I know when I see a red flag from day one, go that way and keep it boogie and only look back. So that's the life lesson I had to learn out of that. So yeah, yeah,
Run.
Right.
Run.
Cause like to piggyback off of what you said, even for me and Lauren, you dealt with women before too, so you probably have came across, I don't know what your preference is, if it's more feminine or masculine or whatever. But and you probably got some other lesbian friends. I had the tendency to choose women who identified as straight
Mm.
and would hit you
Mm.
with the, oh, I like you for you, like you, it's just something about you that's just, or I just like a person for who they are, when in all actuality no, it's because I'm just going the extra mile. But I had to recognize, and I'm still recognizing as time progresses, even though I'm 30 years old, I just turned 30 in January, that the reason why I chose straight woman, the typical thing would be, oh, to say I like a challenge. Absolutely not.
Wow.
That was not the case. I had to recognize that because I was not secure in my physical appearance. I wasn't
Mm,
fully secure in my sexuality and my confidence, that I could downplay my shortcomings by dealing with a straight woman because of the fact of they're not going to ask for certain things sexually that I might not be comfortable with because of my physical appearance and what I may lack thereas and stuff like that. So it was a lot easier versus a woman who identified as fully lesbian or even bisexual or stuff like that. It would be certain levels of expectations that I know I couldn't meet. So I would constantly go to a straight woman, and then when things wouldn't work out and they would go back to males, I never registered or clicked in my head until like now and doing that work and doing that process within myself. Like, that wasn't helping your self esteem anymore.
mm-mm,
Because not only were you doing it because you already wasn't confident in yourself, now you're questioning like, oh, if I would have been a guy, if I would have been a man, this could have worked, and this, that, and third. And now I'm questioning every aspect.
Mm.
So that's taking even more of a toll on me. So now it's like, okay, if I'm gonna get into any type of relationship with somebody, I have to fully be aware of who I am as a person, be
mm-hmm,
confident in who I am, and even if I'm not confident, does this person make me feel comfortable enough to tell them like, hey, look, there's certain things you may want out of me, there's certain things you may want to do. I'm just not comfortable with that just yet.
Right.
mm,
And in hopes they will appreciate me being honest and get me to a place where I do feel comfortable enough to want to do certain things or be in a certain light with them. If I would have been a guy, if I would have been a man, this could have worked, and this, that, and third. And now I'm questioning every aspect.
Mm.
So that's taking even more of a toll on me. So now it's like, okay, if I'm gonna get into any type of relationship with somebody, I have to fully be aware of who I am as a person, be
mm-hmm.
confident in who I am, and even if I'm not confident, does this person make me feel comfortable enough to tell them like, hey, look, there's certain things you may want out of me, there's certain things you may want to do. I'm just not comfortable with that just yet.
Right.
Mm.
And in hopes they will appreciate me being honest and get me to a place where I do feel comfortable enough to want to do certain things or be in a certain light with them. Because I'm 30, like I said, I'm 30 now. That whole going after straight woman, that's a young person's game.
I,
That
I
is.
feel
I,
you. I
I
feel
ain't
you.
built for that life no more. I can't do it.
Oh my
Ain't about
And
to
it's
have
not
you on first
promising.
48
Nah.
Yes.
at all.
It's not promising.
And it's not to say to those that are going to be watching and everything like that, that's not to say that you may come encounter with a person that identified at that time as straight. And you may bring something out of that person that makes them realize, like, I was hiding behind being straight for so long,
Mm,
but I really found my person and now I'm happy. And that's a beautiful thing if you do find that person. So it's not to say
that's
that everybody
amazing.
just out here deceiving people, because you do have people who just hide it
Yep.
or are in denial for their own personal reasons. But once they find you, they may want to come out their shell and be able to say, you know what? I am gay. I do like men. I do like women. And I'm happy with the person I found. I
Mm-hmm.
was never straight. I just did it because that's what everybody expected me to do.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, that's cool too. We
Yep.
still family. We rock with you.
Right. And one more thing, because I know it's getting kind of get a time and everything.
Oh,
If you do have to
Hmm.
go,
I'm
you
good.
can. But this conversation getting good, and I want to.
Yes.
But if you do have to leave, I understand. But yeah. Oh, I want to elaborate on what y'all all said,
Okay.
because I said let me let them talk, and then I'm gonna say my piece. So I identify as a straight person, but y'all listen. Everything that y'all said, I could like identify with that as well. Like some of these dudes, baby. Um, I am convinced the dating pool has poo in it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You
Probably have a little
ain't
doo
It
doo in it
does.
too. Cause baby,
Woo.
I Lord,
Put some
cause
anointing on the food.
I can't. I can't. I really can't. But you know what? I have been single for 8 years, and during that
Wow.
time, I thought like maybe something wrong with me, and I did find out it was something wrong with me at first. Because like Maurice said, that when somebody
Yeah.
show interest in you, you be like, oh, I'm attached to them. oh my gosh.
Right.
Then I'm like, okay, why not text it back fast? Then I realized I had
Yeah, yeah.
what's it called? Anxious
Codependent.
attachment style. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do the work on me. Right. I had to do the work on me. And I kept dating the same type of dude, but in different bodies and different faces. And the dudes I kept dating was the dudes that were like
Mm.
emotionally unavailable, um, just not mentally um present. When I want to go on dates, they don't want
Mm.
to go on dates. They're not when I'm dressed up, they're not dressed up. It's like, and I said, okay, something has to change. So I said, Lord, what's wrong with me? Well, I got to change in myself. Then I started doing the work. So I was looking on YouTube and I came across this video where it said, why you keep dating the same type of dudes? What's wrong? So I said, okay, let me ask myself that question. And then I realized it all started when I was a kid. My mom, how she did it was I told her this. When I was younger, my dad was not around. So what my mama would do is she would dress us up for like Easter or go to church, and then she would go, try to find him, literally find him. And he was like, I think living in Florence at the time, but trying to find him, search him, everything. And some years we'll find him, some years we won't. So it was always that try to find that man for approval, not realizing I was taking that on as a kid and until my adult life that I was looking for these dudes for approval. I was the one chasing them down. I was the one doing ancient attachment styles. And I said, okay, I need to clear this up. I don't no longer want to chase no man. I no longer want to date the same type of dude. So I started saying, okay, what I like in a man, what I like this and that. And I realized my dating has changed. So when I notice that a man start being distant, I'm ready to cut them off. I don't play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't go back to no exes. I don't believe in spending no block. Cause baby,
Oh,
these men will spend the block on
the
you.
block is hot.
The block be fun sometimes.
I'm real.
The block is hot.
Real, you
The
are.
The
block.
block is hot.
Yo.
My bad.
My
The
toxic
toxic
real.
in me was coming out. I'm a toxic in me
You
coming
just
out. My
are
bad.
toxic.
My bad.
Cause if I was dating you, if I was a lesbian and I was dating you, and you said that you friends with your exes, we can't be dating.
All of them. All of them.
I
Hey.
do be
Okay.
friend. I am friends with my exes though. Like how she said, they on me, so I fuck with them.
Cause and it's because sometimes you get to that point where it's just like when y'all meet that like y'all get to that mutual level of understanding like we ain't about to go there. It's not no situationship. It's not the friend with benefits. Sometimes having that one ex that you still cool with, the way they will humble you and gather you all in one conversation, because they can tell you from that aspect of like, no, I dated you. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're wrong. Like you get it together. Like you did her dirty. Like she was right how she felt in that moment. Like no, you are the one that's doing too much. Sometimes you gotta hear because granted you can hear it from like your friends,
Mm-hmm.
but your friends only gonna have that one aspect and that one perception of you because they see you from a friend aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have an ex that you cool with that can humble you and be like, no, you can't talk to me like I ain't date you. I know exactly how you get down when you get mad, when you get upset, when you want to get distant and all that. So no, you ain't right. Tell that girl sorry. And knock on my tell I go tell him sorry. You want some flowers? I get some candy.
I think it's circumstantial too because you have some people who are friends with their exes because they cannot let go of what was,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of settle with that. Oh, this is my best friend, or this is my friend because to be transparent, when me and my husband got together, he was best friends with his ex,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and the
Oh.
ex was living with us at one point in time, and I thought, y'all, when I tell you, I was
But
like,
baby, I'm
whew.
a look.
And I sat there and I thought about it and I was like, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right.
I get it.
The energy did not feel right, and I'm an energy person. So when something don't feel right for me, I'm from the Holiness Church. So when something don't feel right for me,
Done
I got to get
around.
up out of there. So I had to,
Hmm.
and I started, doing my little how I do it, and I started asking like certain questions, like, "Hey, what happened? What happened with y'all? Like, why aren't y'all together?" And when I found out,
Nope.
I was like, "Oh no, y'all can't be friends." So it's either me and you, it can't be the three of us. I'm sorry, it cannot be. And I'm not saying you can like cut her off because she was born a male, now female. But I was like, you don't have to cut her off, but for me and my comfortability, you're gonna have to get rid of that. So it's a mindset thing. I could be friends
Right.
with, I could be cordial with somebody who I've once been with, but I don't know that we can go as far as be friends because I still like it takes a while for me to get over things, and it takes a while for me to like kind of process things. So the moment we come together and we're hanging
Hmm.
out, in my head, I'm like, oh wow, you had cheat on me.
Mm.
So now
Right. That
in
part.
my head, I'm trying to tell myself not to hit you
You ain't lying.
or not to go crazy because you had cheated on me.
Right.
So you thought you could play with me and now you're at my face again? No. So, but it's circumstantial. I don't judge nobody's because my sister is a lesbian and her ex are very close, and it's a good, healthy relationship. So it's a mind thing. It's a mind thing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
y'all, I need to move on because baby,
I'm
we're
with
gonna be
it.
talking about this
I got
all day.
time.
We can
I
talk
got
about this.
time.
Okay. I know we have stories for real. So yeah, so anybody who's a part of the straight community and also a part of the LGBTQ plus community, we all can relate. Okay, so no one is
Yes.
different. So now
Yes.
I'm noticing like all of our stories are similar, whether they men, women,
Right.
whatever. We all have the same stories. Okay, so educating
Yes.
people today, and I love it for real. So okay, what is the myths and the misconceptions about the LGBTQ plus community that
I'll
you
go
wish
first.
you can change or
Oh, go ahead, Real.
erase?
You go. Real.
Oh, pick
Go
me.
ahead,
Oh,
Lauren.
Oh
You
my.
Pick
know what?
somebody.
I'll go
Yeah, I
last. I'll go
gotta
last.
go first. Oh, I can go. Say for me, I would probably say the biggest thing is because I love women, straight women or gay women, however
Mm.
they want. They always think that you want them. They always think that you want
I'll
them.
be
And I
first.
always have to
Yes.
tell people, you do know that we have standards too, right? Like we do have people that we're interested in. And for me, you can be pretty, but that don't mean I want you. Or if you tell them, what you like, they might not even want to be your friend because they may like, oh girl, you might want to talk to me. And I'm like, bitch, please. Like I wouldn't talk to you even if you know what I'm saying? So it's like I think that will be the main thing for me. Or just having friends and bringing them around other friends or bringing them around family, because I know with my mom, if I'm bringing somebody around, like, and it can just be genuinely my friend, she'll be like, oh, that's somebody that you talking to, this that, and the third. And it's like, no, this is my friend. Like, oh, you're not doing anything. I'm like, no, this is my friend. Like, just because I'm bringing another girl around doesn't mean that it's anything more than just being friends. um
Mm-hmm.
so I would probably say that's the main thing for me. Anything else, yeah, I don't really pay attention to.
I think for me, it because I have a few gay homeboys, and I think the thing that irritates me the most is they're more on the feminine side. Is oh they messy, they too loud, that's them, and they're not messy. You may catch a tail end of conversation, but you don't know why they're even having that conversation. They're not loud. They're not being extra. They're not being
Mm-hmm.
dramatic. They're not messy. Like that's just their personality. If they are a little more vocal than other people, that's just them. The same way
Mm-hmm.
how you got some women who walk into a room and they're the loudest person in the room, or whatever the case may be. Like that just misconception of like, oh, all more feminine presenting males are just just loud,
Mm-hmm.
rambunctious, like boisterous, all this stuff like that. No, that's not them. Like I hate when like because my homeboys will come and like they, hey girl, it's that third. Like I can see when we're out and other guys around, they get side eyed. He talking to me. Why are you even looking at him? Why are you worried about? I
Mm-hmm.
get so agitated, and I don't mean to, but it does irk my soul when just because a male is more feminine presenting, they get side eyed.
Yeah.
Like I promise you, my homeboy might be feminine, but he can whoop your ass. I done seen that boy fight.
Right.
Don't play with him. Don't let it fool you. He may got them nails done today, but he will
Yeah.
take them off in a heartbeat
In
and
a
cut your
minute.
tail. Don't play.
And who's me?
That
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
I
Go. I'm
think
sorry. I
that
didn't mean to
miss.
cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good. I think that's my biggest thing that I wish we could change. Is just because a male is more feminine presenting doesn't mean like he can't still do masculine tasks and stuff like that. Like one of my other homeboys, he works on cars all day long, but when he go out, he put it on,
Mm,
heels, makeup, the whole nine. Like he all tens across the board, through and through.
Yeah. So,
But he can put a whole transmission in your car in about 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm talking about.
So
right.
don't think they can't do both. If they want to do both, they would do
Thank
both.
you.
Yes.
And mind your business.
Yeah.
They pay you.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
That's the
That's my
spirit.
that's
Yes.
my favorite phrase. That's my favorite
That's
phrase.
it.
I ain't lying. You go
Okay.
ahead.
Yes. I do want to piggyback off of what Rel said. They do kind of like put this stigma that you're messy because you're more flamboyant, and I would get that kind of label like, oh, Ani is messy, but I'm not messy. I am a realist, and if two of my friends are beefing at that time, I'm going to be the one to say, hey. Listen, she feels like this, and I think you need to go talk to her. I think y'all need to kind of come together because it's some miscommunications. But another thing that I feel like they use, I feel like they try to say the queer community is they over sexualize us. Like we're
Very.
all about sex, and the only reason why we're gay is because we want to have sex. So the only reason why we're queer is because we want to have sex, and it's genuine love in the queer community. And I want people to stop doing that, like, oh, I can't have gay men around me because I don't want him to want you. What makes you think that you're so good enough that this gay man who walks past you, who didn't even acknowledge you, didn't even say hey to you, now you got your boxes in the wad because you feel like they want you because it's a gay presence. And most of the time it's because my energy and my presence wakes up something inside you that you didn't think was in there. And now you are battling internally that, oh, why do I feel good when this feminine male walked past me with heels and makeup on? Why does that kind of tickle my fancy? It tickles your fancy because it woke up something inside of you, and it's not that you're gay, it's that you like it. You kind of, it's not that you want to be with that. It's like, oh wow, you like what you want to see, but because you're so conflicted in your mind about what you went through or what you grew up knowing to be the truth, you're conflicted in your mind. So now you kind of like, before you even say I like it, you kind of beat yourself up or target that person and say, oh no, he's an f-bomb, or he's this or he's that. I can't be around no gay man because all they want to do is want me. No, we don't want you,
There you
but
go.
what's inside of you is
All
going to
right.
eventually come out.
Let's see. My take on it would be
Right.
I don't like the stigma of they thinking that we can turn someone that's straight gay. I can't stand that. That's like, but the flip side of it is we do have a lot of people
Mm,
in our community that be thinking they can turn a straight guy a gay or a female can turn a, per se. I've met people and I've been on another panel where I've been in not a panel, but I've been in a retreat.
Hmm.
And this was a question that came up, and we had someone that was like, "Yeah, I can turn a female straight any day." My swag, like it was lesbians that was they present themselves masculine presenting. So and there was one that she, not to be too graphic, but she carries something or whatever. And she be like, when I got in my pants, oh, I can turn any female out. Like, I'm like, whoa, okay, you know what I'm saying? So it's on both sides of the spectrum or whatever. But I don't like that, you know, I guess I want to say the rest of the world thinks that we're just here to turn everybody out. That's not how that works. You either born gay or you not gay. I'm sorry. I mean, you might want to experiment, have a little fun here and there, this and that, throughout your life. But at the end of the day, if a gay male meets a straight male, it's something like Ani was saying. It's something in that person that you're triggering because it was something they were trying to hide and mask it and mask down because they don't want to present themselves as being a part of the community or whether they rather just do it behind closed doors or be considered the DL man. In
Hmm.
which that's another issue too, being DL. That stigma, I hate that being a part of our community as well because you got a lot of DL people that are not comfortable with who they really are because of what they're afraid what the world is going to say. And then when they do act on their urges, should I say, and then to get caught, they want to like a lot of. That's why I fear for trans women because when they deal with a lot of these massive men and there's so much going
Mm-hmm.
on of killing them because they're afraid of getting out. So I do, like I say, I have a couple of trans people I know
Yep.
that I'm very cool with or whatever, and I'm an advocate for them too. I don't like when DL men take people's lives because you're afraid to be who you are. That's stupid. If you're gonna be gay, be gay. I mean, just hey, learn to just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the world is not the world is not peaceful. The world is not happy. The world is
Yep.
evil. So that's just the way the world is. You just have to learn how to deal with people coming at you sideways. You gotta learn how to just diffuse it. You know, block it, whatever. Hate to put the hater blockers on, like whatever. Say what you got to say. It ain't gonna affect. You don't really say words affect you. They can, but it's in how you handle it or whatever as an adult or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think another one too for me, because I love my niece, both my nieces and my nephew down. I'm when I say like my youngest niece, that's my mini me. That is my girl. And I hate the stigma that the LGBTQ community has when it comes to, oh, you're confusing the kids. No, these
Oh.
kids love when you're at that age of a child. That is the purest type of love you can get
Right.
because you don't learn to love with conditions until you get older.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who
Right.
says that, oh,
That's
I love
good.
unconditionally, you're lying to yourself, in my opinion. You love under conditions, under stipulations of how you want to be loved, all stuff like that. But a child will love whether it's their aunt, their cousin, a teacher, whoever,
Mm-hmm.
without conditions because they don't know anything.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Stop saying that, oh, because for me, my niece, like I said, she's younger or whatever. She started asking me a lot, are you a boy? Are you a boy? Because she saw that I presented more masculine. So I had to learn, okay, what is an appropriate conversation to have at the time. I want to say she might have been maybe 6 or whatever. And it was always like a little joke because, like, when they would ask, like, is Corell a boy or girl? Oh, she's a boy because they saw my short haircut and my clothes. But it got to a point where it's like, okay, I got to get them to understand, like, I'm still a girl. I'm still your auntie. I'm not your uncle. I'm still your auntie. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable in these clothes. And it's fine that fine line. Nobody's confusing anybody's child. Um, there's not being things put on television to overly sexualize like us when it comes to like Disney Channel, for instance. They had an episode, I forgot the name of the show, where one of the actors, which was a younger actor, came out as being gay. And they wrote a whole statement in the beginning of the episode expressing like we're just trying to give accessibility to kids who may be feeling this type of way and not understanding their
Mm-hmm.
feelings. But then you had backlash. Oh, you're confusing the kids. You're pushing that idea. No, we're just trying to get them to understand because we're at a generation now where when we all are older, when we came out, it was a shot in the dark. It was always going to be a
Right.
hit or miss. Your family may accept you, they may not. Your friends may still fuck with you, they may not. It was all these things that we had to pave to get to this point. So where now, if we can have children who are having these questions, 'cause they're
Yeah.
more intuitive than we ever were. They're
Mm-hmm.
very intuitive. They're very smart and educated to where it's like they gonna pick up on it regardless.
Yeah.
Let's give them that safe space to where they're not going through the same mental issues that we're going through. Because I feel like that's a whole nother aspect and a whole nother part of a discussion is the fact of because we had to go through all those hurdles.
Yes.
Now we're having all these mental health issues because of the fact of how we had to even come out the closet to begin with to be our authentic selves. So we're not pushing that on the kids. We're just trying to get them to understand like it's okay. You
Mm-hmm.
can be however you want to be. You can like whatever you like. We're not pushing anything on nobody.
Right.
So stop trying to say that we are when we're not.
Yeah. And
I
also,
just want to make a
mhm,
comment
okay.
about that real quick.
Yeah.
I don't understand when people say that because when we was growing up, and we're how they was pushing straightness on us so bad, growing.
Yes.
It's like okay, if that's the case, why everybody's not straight? Like
Mm,
if y'all said that we're influencing or they're influencing the kids now, y'all had no gay actors, no trans, no nothing. It was just straight male, female. They was kissing, sex, and everything, straight TV. So if that was the case, why isn't everything that we was watching? Why didn't it influence
Right.
us to be straight? That don't make sense. So yeah, that was all I had to
yeah,
say.
and see, right about that, because like even as a a straight person, um, what I've learned and what I've seen was you have to have that man before you're a certain age. You have to get married before you're a certain age. That Cinderella story. Oh, I need a man to save me type thing, right? So that was being pushed on us at a young age too. And then when we of age and like, oh snap, I'm 30 and I ain't married yet. Something wrong with me, uh-uh. And so I see exactly what you're saying about TV pushing a lot of straightness on people, and then now that. So it makes a lot of sense, and this is crazy. It is. That is always going to be a topic of conversation whether the community is pushing that on the children. It's always going to be that. Don't know
Yeah.
why, but it is. And also, what I have seen and what I disagree with is that stigma of for men when they're little boys and they start doing feminine things, they always say, "Oh yeah, he wasn't raised by his daddy, or he wasn't raised by a male figure." And I'm like, there's a lot of gay men who are raised by their dads, but they end up being gay anyway. That's who they were.
That
So
mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't get it.
To
But yeah,
piggyback what you're
Maurice, tell me
saying, I
what you got to
definitely
say.
agree with what you're saying because um, a lot of my friends didn't have father figures, but like I said, that's just a stigma. You can't just say just because a father figure wasn't in the home when that child growing up into adulthood that the female, if I guess being just around their mom and maybe the mom's family a lot or whatever is going to influence them to be gay. That's not how that works. Like I always say, I've had to learn myself because I was always questioning,
Right.
like, because when I was younger or whatever, I always had feelings like that, but I didn't understand what it was. So I just kind of like just went with the flow as a child.
Mm-hmm.
But as I became an adult and actually doing the research and actually learning who I am as a person or whatever, I know that this is something I've been born with. This is not something I just decided I want to be gay. Because that was the question my mom asked me when you decided to be gay. I said, Mom, what do you mean when I decided to be gay? So you ain't never been gay. You ain't never had no boy. You ain't never been taught. I said, Mom, you just don't know. I wasn't around you all the time. Not to say I was out there hoeing and sleeping with dudes. No,
Mm-hmm.
I just sleep with my first guy until I got in college. But I'm just saying, like, it is it's a male cannot influence. I mean, a female cannot influence a male to be gay, and a male cannot influence a female to be gay. So it's not that's not how that works. It's just what you're born as. That's what it is. That's just as you become older, it comes out because now you are realizing who you really are, and you're able to express yourself as who you truly are, and that's being transparent.
If you could go back to when you was a little kid, what do you tell yourself about love, identity, and mental wellness? And what
I
would it be?
I go first. I just for me because growing up, I was a very shy and timid young man. I did one. I was more so. I did play sports. I played baseball up until college. Whatever, until I broke my foot, and that was the end of that. But I still love sports, and I always been a sports person. But I also had a feminine side. I used to love cheering with the girls. My cousin Wanda, me and her used to cheer all the time, and she used to stay in apartments. So it would be like 30 girls outside, and I'm the only boy, either double dutching, jumping rope, cheering, doing the girly thing or whatever, whatever. But my dad looked at that as okay, I got to figure this out or whatever. So, for me, I would tell my younger self to stand firm, to stay true to yourself, not allow even your family to make you be something that you're not. And that's what a lot of my family tried to do. Um, and then me and my dad had a conversation about it when I came out. He was saying like, I already knew you was gay. I was waiting you to come out. I said, well, why did you try to push so much sports. You had your brothers, my uncles, put so much masculine stuff on me when you know I like to chill or I like to, step or I like to, dance or, do feminine things. Not to say I want to put like I want to chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to cheer in high school, but he was like, nope, you better play baseball, you better play basketball, football, run track or something. You better go to work, make some money, take care of you. I ain't got time to be raising no punk. That's what Dad told me. My mama said the same thing. I heard that from my uncles, on my mom and my dad's
Mm,
side. I heard it from my aunt,
Mm.
except for the one that took me in. She was the only one that truly knew who I was, and she always respected me. And she always never made me feel like I was less than who I was. So for my younger son, like I said, I would just say stand firm in who you are and who you were and who you want to be, and just be confident in yourself. Don't let nobody intimidate you. Don't let nobody kind of influence you to be something that you're not, and just be who you are and be happy about it and love yourself.
Okay. And real, I know you
I
have to go,
guess
so you can go ahead.
I guess for me it would be learn that being okay is not okay. Like not being okay is okay. I was diagnosed my junior year at Morris, which a lot of people didn't know except for like my roommate at the time and a couple of my close friends that I have was diagnosed at the time with bipolar 1 disorder. After being reevaluated this past year is bipolar 2. And then I also have what's called paranoid anxiety, which just simply in layman's terms is if I'm having one negative thought, it snowballs into a multitude of different thoughts, and that can lead to me having a panic attack or anxiety attack, stuff like that. In combination with being bipolar and having ups and downs and stuff like that, sometimes I'm in great spirits, but usually in combination with my anxiety, if something bad is going on or happening and not going right, that kicks it in to where I can have what's considered an episode. If I would have known that my mental health was why I was feeling the way I was feeling younger, earlier on, I felt like I would have had more preparation and more understanding and did a lot of things differently. Chose different friendships, different relationships, like became more vocal. Because even me being as old as I am, I still do have a tendency to not be as vocal as I should be. Because I have a tendency to get into my own head and be like, oh, they're gonna think I'm doing too much, or maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. I will gaslight myself before anybody else gets an opportunity to do it. And recognizing that now, I realize that ties into what I used to do when I was younger. I would just jump to conclusions and assumptions that nobody wanted to hear me. Nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. Nobody wanted to know that I wasn't okay. Like, and even growing up in the household I grew up in with me being younger, I want to tell my younger self, like, your parents just didn't know how to deal because they parents never showed them how to deal.
Mm,
Doesn't mean that they didn't love you any less. It's just their parents wasn't overly affectionate, so they didn't know how to be overly affectionate. And it's okay. They still love you. They just don't know how to show it. Like I said, my mom is Hispanic and come from a Hispanic household. Anybody who comes from that particular background understands that aspect. You don't really get too much love shown. It's you're supposed to do this. And I can count on my hands how many times like just hugging. Like mom hugged me on my high school graduation, my college graduation, and one time when I broke down crying in front of her.
mm,
That so 3 times that my mom had like actually like hugged me and told me like I love you, I'm proud of you,
Wow.
stuff like that. But that's because she never reciprocated that from my grandma and everybody else. So I wish I could have went back in time and told my younger self that like your mom loves you. Like she truly does love you. She truly does care about you. It's just she was never shown those things. She was more so shown tough love. You suck it up, get through it. Why you crying for? Like that ain't gonna change nothing. You sitting there crying. Like that's how I was brought up. And that played a part into my mental health. So I wish I could have went back and told my younger self like it's okay to sit there and say to yourself, I'm not okay right now.
right. Mm,
Yeah.
that was good. Yes, Ani, your turn.
Um, I would, I would definitely tell my younger self to pace myself as far as when it comes to my emotional state. I used to want to be okay so bad. I want to feel normal so bad that I would start to beat myself up and kind of like it would be like, come on now, you can do it. You can. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you being that person that everybody wants you to be? And I grew up in a church. I grew up in a holiness church. My grandfather was the pastor. My mom, she was a preacher. So I had so many like molds that I was supposed to fit in. And I had so many like things that I was supposed to do. I was supposed to dress like this. I was supposed to walk like this. I was supposed to talk like this. I was preaching at the age of 8. I was an assistant pastor at the age of 17. So I had so many like different things that were requiring of me, and I would tell myself pace myself, and I
Mm.
would tell myself
Come on,
say
say
no,
mm.
say no, say no, say you don't like it. Be very vocal on what you can handle, because there was a lot of situation I was in that I could not handle. Giving a 17-year-old a whole church, and it's like, here you go. And it's like, okay, what do I do? Because I'm still in school. I still have to be cool in school, and it wasn't cool being the preacher. And it was, yeah, I would say no. I would tell myself no. I would tell myself not to allow people to write my future. And I would tell myself, just continue being you and walking in your light, because that's what's going to draw
Okay.
the multitude.
Right. So the last question is, just basically give yourself a shout out if you have any upcoming projects. Tell us about it. Tell people where they can follow you. All that.
I
Anybody?
guess I go first because I gotta head out.
Yes.
Um, Social media, Snapchat is inked by nature. As you can see, I got a lot of tattoos. That's why it's inked by nature. Or Swavy the Kid with 2 D's. That's on Snapchat. Facebook is Corey Rail. Instagram is complexly underscore poetic. Complexly is with a K, not a C. Um, Up and coming, I am still working off the kinks and the dynamic of I'm starting a podcast as well. It's called Fuck My Intrusive Thoughts.
Mm,
Ooh, I want to be on
Exciting.
it.
I
Yeah, I
love
want to be. I want to be on
that.
it. I want to be on it. I
Okay.
want to be on
Yeah.
it.
I want to be on there
Oh
too.
yeah,
I want to be on
oh
it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, most definitely. Everybody on here got to be on it for sure, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's just gonna be just grounded in just being unapologetic. Like when I say like whatever thought comes to mind, that's what we gonna speak on.
All right.
Type of situation. Like you know how everybody sits there and says, don't say the first thing that comes to mind. Well, with this particular podcast, that exactly is what I want any of, my cohorts to say, like, whatever first comes to mind, the first response. Just being authentic, genuine. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am at Dick Smith Nissan. So if anybody out there has a Nissan, come see me for service.
Okay.
And I get you right.
Awesome.
All right. All
I,
right.
I get you, I get you right. So that's pretty much everything I got going on. Of course, I will keep everybody up to date and posted on when everything works out with the podcast. Cause I'm getting close. Few more tweaks, and I should be right at where I want to be with it.
You already right where you want to be.
Good.
Congratulations.
Okay. Come on, podcast. Who's next?
Yes. I could go next. Before I say anything, if you need any help, just let me know, and I can help you as much as I can, because I have a lot of equipment that I do not use. So,
Oh,
whatever
Okay.
you need, please
I need help.
reach out. Yes, reach out to
Oh
me.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Ani K. Bennikin hyphen Holmes. Um, I have to look at my Instagram because I can never remember it. It's underscore it's all Ani with 3 Y's. And like my other social media is underscore all in with Ani. I have a symposium coming up in June. It's called the Align Symposium. It's about aligning yourself and self discovery and aligning yourself with your higher self, who I believe is God. And I have some great panelists coming for that. And today I aired a new episode today, so go check that out too. It aired today at 12. So check that out. But that's the things I have going on. I'm a graphic designer. So if you need graphics and help with your podcasting, like logos and things like that, reach out. I can help out as much as I can.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, most definitely. I'm definitely going to get all your information for
Yes.
sure. But before you guys start, I want to say, because I got to go, I got to run. Thank you so much to everybody. Everybody was amazing. I'm really grateful that I met all of you guys. I
Yeah.
enjoyed this podcast for sure, for sure. Annika, I know me and you have been talking since day one
Yeah.
about you wanting to do this podcast
Oh yeah.
and everything that's been going on, all
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I'm just grateful through and through that you even took time out to reach out to me and everything like that. Love you for that. And I wish you nothing but success in this. I really do. And everything for everybody else as well.
Thank you so much, real. I
Yeah.
love you too, baby. You did
All right.
amazing today. And yes,
Yes.
I'm going to get in contact with you after this to let you know like any updates. But yeah, do your thing. Go ahead. I'll see you later, okay?
All right. Love all y'all guys.
Love you
All right.
too.
All right.
All right. I guess for me, let's see. I don't know where to start. I also in the process of want to start a podcast. It's something I've been thinking about for the last few years, and being a part of Annika's podcast episode we did early this year, I think.
Yep. It was
Annika,
early this year.
that was
Hmm.
my first time. I've always wanted to be on a podcast thing situation with them. I like interacting with people and meeting new people. So I'm definitely gonna be trying to link up with you, so we can work. Maybe you can help me out with figuring out how to do this. I'm lost. I don't know where to start, how to get this thing going. So I'm gonna need your expertise, guidance, help me get this thing going because I really want
I
to get mine
got you.
started. That's one thing I'm planning on doing. Secondly, hopefully I'll be relocating next year after I graduate from Morris College December. I'm moving to Virginia Beach area. I'm gonna relaunch my or my youth nonprofit youth organization, Comic Adults and Steppers. So I'm planning to do that next year. I wish I could take Annika with me, but I know she gonna be here doing her thing. But I know we'll be able to still do some type of we gonna still collaborate. I'm gonna still keep her. I might have to do her via email. Via I guess whatever she can still be my conference coach if she don't mind or whatever. I'll pay I'll send you some money, whatever the case may be. We'll work that out or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Third thing, I'm trying like I said, I want to open my own food truck and catering business. My cousin's helping me with getting things started with that. It's called Tasty Treats by Reese. So I just started that or whatever. I'm about to start trying to do a little soft launch with doing it kind of under the table right now before I start going to the business for aspect of just want to see how it works. So I'm gonna do that this summer. Trying to do like dinners with people I used to work with. Get little contracts with them. So that's something else I plan to do. Also, I guess my social media handles are I'm using my team pages. I don't have my own personal page because I've had bad experience in the past. So I figured I haven't had any issues with using my team page. So for Instagram, I have is season Charlie dot o dot d underscore steppers 17. That's Instagram. My Facebook page is at I think it's Kyle Mega Delta Steppers. I believe.
Yeah. I'll make a
Yeah,
Delta Stepper.
yes, that's my Facebook page. That I can be reached at, or if you want to reach me by email, is Otis dot M as in Mary dot Nowlin at gmail.com. You can reach me that way, or if you want to contact me directly, text only. So I don't know, whatever. I give out my number. My number is 843-713-9586. You can text me anytime.
Okay. And yes, I want to thank y'all so much for coming on the show today because it was so good.
I had fun.
Okay.
I
Yes.
had fun. I had fun.
But it was so good.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I want to thank y'all so much. And remember, yes, life was delayed, but it never gave a nine. I'm your host, Annika Laquette, and you just listened to Never Gave a Nine podcast. Bye.
Deuces.